Greetings LEGO fans and welcome to Retro LEGO, where we revisit and rank the sets in beloved LEGO themes from the past.
Today we travel back 25 years to 1999's very first LEGO Star Wars sets. Being LEGO's first attempt at licensing popular IPs, this was an unprecedented and monumental moment for LEGO and Star Wars fans alike. This pioneering wave of 13 sets, some from the original trilogy and some from Episode 1, hit when I was 9 years old. As such, my own nostalgia is going to play pretty heavily into this ranking, as much as I might try to resist. So climb into your favorite starfighter and let's dive into LEGO's first visit to the galaxy far, far away. Taking the bottom spot is set number 7111, the Droid Fighter. Selling for $6 in 1999, this set is remarkably unremarkable. With no minifigures and only its folding mechanism giving it any sense of individuality, I can easily say that this is by far my least favorite of this wave. It can certainly be used as a generic, faceless enemy to fight against the good guys, but it's one you can skip and not really miss out on anything. At number 12, we have set number 7121, the Naboo Swamp. Originally retailing for $10 this little set is miles ahead of our previous entry, and fits quite nicely in the good category. The scene depicted here is our introduction to the best character in all of Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks. In addition to being the highlight of Episode 1, he actually makes a really good minifigure. The specially made head mold is a very accurate representation of the character, and his torso print and coloring really do justice to his Oscar-worthy portrayal on screen. Okay, I'll stop. Also included here is Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi's stoic and wise master. He's brought to minifigure form very faithfully here, and as I've mentioned in other videos, I love the use of yellow heads and hands in these early licensed sets from LEGO. I also sorely miss the chrome silver lightsaber handles. These were prone to chipping and flaking off, but they look so much better than the matte silver ones they have today. To round us out, we're also given 2 battle droids, bringing this set to an impressive 4 minifigure total. These guys are pretty much perfect reproductions of how they appear on screen because, aside from the 1x2 tan plate on their backs, each element used to make them is specially made for this theme. Completing the set are the battle droids' gunships, and a slimy foliage build representing the swamps of Naboo. It's not a must-have set in my book, but it's a quality small offering in this wave. Coming in at number 11 is set number 7151, the Sith Infiltrator. Retailing for $30 this sinister-looking vessel is Darth Maul's means of carrying out his malevolent reconnaissance. Though there were plenty of triumphs in this wave, this one probably looks the most dated by today's standards. One of the highlights of the set, however, is the minifigure, Darth Maul himself. Talk about nailing it on the first try. This minifigure is just awesome, sporting film-accurate face and torso prints along with a deliciously Sith-like black hood, which made its debut in this wave. In addition to the ship and the minifig, you also get Darth Maul's little speeder. It's nothing extraordinary, but it gets the job done, and was a lot of fun to zoom around as a kid. A few little probe droids, cleverly made with black minifig heads and levers, finish the set off. It's not a bad set by any means, but to me, it falls a bit short of the triumphs we'll see further along in this list. Breaking into the top 10 is set number 7141, the Naboo Fighter. Setting you back $20 at launch, this set faces similar design challenges to the Sith Infiltrator, but in my opinion, navigates them much better. Somehow, the designers were able to create an instantly recognizable recreation of the fighter seen in the film, even if it is a little blocky. Of course, newer versions of this set have achieved a sleeker, smoother shape, but there's something charming about this conspicuously LEGO original. The specially made cockpit and set-exclusive printed pieces serve to elevate the set, but also confuse me a little. Can anyone tell me what's up with the fish back there? There are 4 minifigures included here. The first is young Anakin Skywalker, donning a brown flight helmet with black goggles. With this wave predating the shorter minifig legs, we just need to imagine that he's the height of a 9-year-old. His freckles add a nice dash of youthfulness though, and his simple torso print effectively captures his essence from the movie. Next, we have the cheeky and lovable R2-D2. To say they nailed this minifigure is a huge understatement. Though new elements and prints were created to make him, the use of Technic connections and the familiar 2x2 dome brick on top combined to make this minifig both film accurate and totally Lego. Finally, we're given 2 more battle droids. Their use of these backwards megaphones as blasters still fills me with fond nostalgia for this era of LEGO Star Wars. Of course, there are far more screen-accurate and specially molded blasters available now, but in my mind, nothing quite beats these. If you're a fan of Episode 1 and vintage LEGO Star Wars, this one feels like an essential part of the collection. At number 9 is set number 7110, Landspeeder. Hitting shelves at $6 US, this was one of my first LEGO Star Wars sets, and the nostalgia is strong with this one. Luckily, the set itself is also strong, even if the coloring and angles are a bit off. The nice wide footprint of this speeder gives plenty of room for 2 minifigures to sit comfortably side by side, somewhat reminiscent of an adventurer's car. Since it can fit 2 minifigures, the set appropriately includes 2. The first is the central hero of the story, Luke Skywalker. This version of him is my favorite from this first wave. The amount of detail on his torso and leg prints is impressive, especially because he's not much different from what we get in more modern versions of the character. His face print is also inescapably tied with this era of LEGO Star Wars in my mind, and though it's simple and not even particularly movie accurate, I love it. Next is the wise and mysterious Obi-Wan Kenobi. This minifigure is a lot less impressive, not really capturing Obi-Wan's look from the film in my opinion. A cape and a hood would have gone a long way toward fixing that, but hey, what are you gonna do? My nostalgia alone really pushed me to rank this set higher, but I had to be honest and admit that there are still 8 better sets in this wave. At number 8 is set number 7161, the Gungan Sub. Originally retailing for $50 US, this set almost makes it feel like they were trying to adapt the most difficult vehicles possible into LEGO, and somehow they did it. The part usage here is so creative, and at the risk of sounding like a broken record, the fact that it looks this film accurate with the pieces available at the time is darn near miraculous. Not only does it look great, but all the added play features, an underwater side build, and even a stingray take the play potential to a whole new level. To fill the vehicle's 3 cockpits are 3 minifigures. We're already acquainted with the minifigure versions of Jar Jar and Qui-Gon Jinn, but we're also given a young Obi-Wan Kenobi here. Mine has a replacement hood that's a newer mold, but everything else you see here is original. Personally, I think they did a much better job on Obi-Wan's younger self than his older counterpart found in the Landspeeder. He shares Qui-Gon Jinn's torso print and cape, which could be seen as a little lazy, but their costumes in the film are very similar as well, so I tend to chalk it up to that. The unique setting and vehicle make this a standout in LEGO Star Wars, and it's hours of fun in the making. Taking the number 7 spot is set number 7101, Lightsaber Duel. Costing just $6 back in 1999, this set is reminiscent of small action-centered sets like Sheriff's Showdown from the Western theme. Based on a brief skirmish between Qui-Gon Jinn and the mysterious Darth Maul, you're given everything you need to reenact the scene, or choose your own adventure. Naturally, the 2 minifigs included are Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul, both wielding their lightsabers. Finishing off the set are 2 small builds. The first is Darth Maul's speeder, which we already saw in the Sith Infiltrator. And finally, we have what I'm guessing is one of Tatooine's many moisture evaporators, which helps to firmly establish the setting. It's a tiny little set, but it's just begging you to play, which is the mark of any strong LEGO set. If you're enjoying this ranking, be sure to like and subscribe. At number 6, we have set number 7128, Speeder Bikes. Originally retailing for $10 US, this one is another childhood favorite of mine, depicting the adrenaline-pumping Endor chase from Return of the Jedi. The builds for these speeder bikes are remarkably film accurate and just so much fun to play with as a kid. This small little forest side build is a great addition that, much like our previous entry, establishes the setting for the action. It may be a small set, but it includes 3 great minifigures. 2 of them are these Endor stormtroopers, with helmet molds and torso prints that very faithfully duplicate what was seen in the film. The only thing that sometimes drove me crazy about these guys was the tendency for their goggle head prints to get misaligned with their helmets. The OCD had to come from somewhere, folks. Our last minifig is Luke Skywalker in his Endor camouflage. This is another Luke minifig I'm very fond of, and the gloved right hand and green lightsaber show a strong attention to detail. It would have been nice to get a Leia minifigure to go along with Luke, but she'd have to wait until the following year to get the minifig treatment. The smaller sets in this wave were some of my favorites because they were so good at giving you exactly what you needed to recreate your favorite moments from these legendary films. Just making the top 5 is set number 7131, Anakins Pod Racer. Setting you back $15 in 1999, this set adapts my favorite element of Episode 1, pod racing. Episode 1 is admittedly not my favorite, but the pod race scene along with the N64 game it spawned were absolute staples of my childhood. The fact that they were able to take a difficult design like this and not only make it film accurate, but make it stable and infinitely swooshable is a major feat. This is accomplished by connecting the pod and engines via this tan brick and plate framework, which is designed to blend into the sands of Tatooine. This also makes for a great way to hold the racer. In addition to the pod racer, we get 3 minifigures. The first is obviously the pod's pilot, Anakin Skywalker, this time wearing a gray helmet with dark gray goggles. Next, we have Padme Amidala, whose torso print and hair mold leap off the screen, but her somewhat stern and not exactly youthful expression leave a bit to be desired. Despite this, I still think she works overall, and is still a relatively rare character to be seen in minifigure form. Finally, we have Anakin's pit droid, who is entirely brick-built. I get a bit more of a Wall-E vibe from these guys than what they looked like in the film, but they're fun. A small flag build tops this set off, serving as a home base for Anakin's trial runs of the racer. Everything you get here is included in the larger Mos Espa pod race set, but it's an affordable way to get just Anakin's racer if that's all you care about. Coming in at number 4 is set number 7130, Snowspeeder. Hitting shelves at $20, this set is, in my opinion, still the most film-accurate version of this vehicle ever to be released from LEGO. The colors and shaping are spot on, and if you want an in-depth discussion on the true color of a Snowspeeder, go ahead and visit RR Slugger's channel. He'll set the record straight for you. The dual cockpits of this speeder feel the most complete and comfortable amongst the vehicles in this wave, each with a computer and ample room for the minifigs. Speaking of the minifigs, this set comes with 3. The first is yet another version of Luke Skywalker, this time with his Rebel pilot uniform and helmet. LEGO totally nailed this look, and much like Luke's Tatooine appearance, it hasn't really changed much over time. Next, we have our ill-fated co-pilot, Dak. He wears the same uniform as Luke, with a blue printed helmet instead of red. The basic LEGO smiley face print might seem like a cheap cop-out, but I welcome the use of this face anywhere, so I really don't mind. Finally, we have the Hoth Rebel. His face print actually comes from Aquazone, which is a fun little Easter egg for 90s LEGO fans. Mine should have the original brown visor, but it got lost somewhere along the way, so I replaced it with black. This little deflector dish build is a perfect little companion to this set, and once again gives a sense of place. I love this set, and the fact that it's down at number 4 is a testament to the quality of what's to come. Number 3 goes to set number 7171, Mos Espa Pod Race. Originally costing $90 US, I never had this set as a kid, but upon encountering it as an adult, I can't believe how incredible an achievement this set is. All 3 pod racers translate from screen to LEGO so perfectly that it's kinda mind-boggling. We're already familiar with Anakin's Pod Racer, but we're also given Gazgano and Sebulba's as well. Gazgano's pod dwarfs Anakin's with its enormous green vertical engines along with its threatening side-mounted chainsaws. Gazgano himself is brought to life with a very clever combination of 4 gray battle droid arms, a white chainsaw tool, and a standard minifigure head and helmet. He does a fair job of emulating his film look at best, but the sheer creativity required to even get this close deserves applause. His pit crew also has a little home base, including a flag, some tools, a dish, and his pit droid. This little guy is identical to Anakin's we've seen previously, with some minor color variations. If you think Gazgano's pod was huge, Sebulba takes it a step further. This thing is about as intimidating as it gets, sporting an aggressive orange and black color scheme and engines that resemble some sort of morbid insect. He's also not afraid to play dirty, sporting 4 chainsaws on the front and back. Rather than go the brick-built route, Sebulba is simply a one-piece mold, which is set exclusive. He's not exactly brimming with detail, but he's serviceable enough for 1999. Sebulba also has a small home base for his pit crew, consisting of a similar flag and dish build, along with his own slightly color-altered pit droid. The rest of the minifigs included are familiar faces, adding up to 10 in total. I desperately wanted this set as a kid, and now I can see more than ever just how great it truly is. The runner-up is set number 7150, TIE Fighter and YWing. Originally retailing for $50 US, this set is particularly special to me, as it's my very first LEGO Star Wars set. I got this on my birthday 25 years ago, and since then, it's held a special place in my heart. Luckily, it's not only nostalgic, but it's actually a great set as well. Though the building techniques look a bit blocky and primitive by today's standards, these fighters are brought into the LEGO world beautifully, and are immediately recognizable as the iconic ships from the films. The TIE Fighter might have overdone it a bit with the blue accents, but the building techniques and new molds made for this are a knockout. Inside the TIE Fighter is my favorite minifigure in this entire wave, Darth Vader. When my 9-year-old self first put this minifig together, I was in absolute awe. I'm not sure how they could have come out the gate with anything better. The helmet mold, torso printing, and cape add up to a chillingly accurate recreation of one of the most menacing villains of all time. Even his head print doesn't skip out on the details, portraying the scarred shell of a human beneath the mask. Moving over to the Y-Wing, we get another excellent recreation of the film version with a clever mix of system and Technic elements. A rotating top cannon and multiple storage containers, including this one bearing the Rebel insignia, add a healthy dose of play potential. Inside the Y-Wing, we find 2 minifigures. The first is the pilot, John Dutch Vander, also known as Gold Leader. He wears the same pilot uniform we've seen on our other pilot characters, with his special gold-printed helmet reflecting his position. His face print is inherited from the 90s space sub-themes, along with Aquazone, and it's so fitting to have it included in this first licensed space theme. Also aboard the Y-Wing is R5-D4, another astromech droid similar to R2-D2 but with red printing instead of blue. This set was a dream come true for me in 1999, and I still love it to this day. And at number 1 is set number 7140, the XWing Fighter. Hitting shelves at $30, this set was by far my favorite from this wave, and 25 years later, it still holds the crown. They absolutely scored on the look, colors, and feel of the X-Wing, while making it sturdy and, perhaps most importantly, playable. LEGO wasn't content to just give you the fighter though. You're also given a Rebel transport vehicle, giving pilots a quick way to get to their ships. Also included are an impressive 4 minifigures. Of course, we're given Luke, but we're also given Biggs Darklighter, Luke's best friend from back on Tatooine. His face print is a character-exclusive variation of the classic LEGO smiley face, with just a little mustache added. Next is the Rebel Technician, donning a tan uniform, baseball cap, and one of my favorite face prints in LEGO history, most notably used on Sheriff Wyatt from the Western Line. Of course, we can't forget about R2-D2, who has a knack for saving the day in sticky situations. This set is a triumph of early licensed designs, and is the crown jewel of this first wave of LEGO Star Wars. But as always, that's just what I think. What are your favorite sets from this wave? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, may the Force be with you. Man, that wasn't cool.